We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's goody?
What's going on with you, bro?
Man, I am probably trying to get my mind focused to recover here, man. I went to go hoop right before we jumped on, and so yeah, man, these bones. I was giving them some buckets today at the park, which was cool. Got a chance to play with, got the chance to get some runs in with Landon. So it's always cool. Still to this day, man, getting them buckets. So that it feels like it lends some credibility, right? Like when I tell them stuff, and it's one thing that as long as he know that I can do the stuff that I'm telling him to do still though, man. So yeah, that was pretty cool getting out there. But I know I'm about to put the ice packs and give me some ibuprofen out here though, man.
Boy,
I don't got them 800s y'all had in the military now.
Right, yeah, that's what the Motrin 800s, bro. That was where it's at.
Nah, I got them. He got them. I took some of his 600s, and I guess apparently, you know, I don't like. For me, I usually take a leave, and a leave. I didn't realize that the leave is only like you take one. I think one is like 200, 300. So it wasn't like a whole lot, but they usually work for me though, man. And so taking that 600, I was like, yo, I was straight. Woke up completely pain free the next day though, man. So yeah.
Let's get this music popping, bro.
Let's do it, man.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You click on the notification on the bell. That way you get the heads up whenever your boys' name is doing a thing. Ace Kennedy. I meant to ask you, bro. Did you see that apparently Zendaya is getting paid now $1 million an episode for Euphoria, though, bro? I think she's gonna be like the highest paid actors in the TV series, though, apparently.
That's dope, man. The series is
definitely
built around her. So yeah, and you know, obviously her star power brings a lot to the show. So yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I saw that today. I wanted to get your opinion, man. So since we were last on, Dame Dollar drops 71 points the other day. Now, this is not, you know, maybe last month, Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 points. And listen, I'm always blown away about 50 plus games. So 60 plus games blow my mind. 70, I'm just like completely wowed. I want to get your opinion about his 70-point game because his came in regulation, whereas Donovan Mitchell's came in overtime. So 71 points in regulation. I don't think that he played the whole game, by the way.
Well, he had 41 points at halftime.
Yes.
So, you know, I don't see anything. It's Dame, right? You know, Dame can get hot. And then, you know, what are you supposed to do as a player? Why would you stop somebody who's that hot? You just keep giving it to them until they flame burn out. And then, you know, you hope that if it does burn out, that you're able to contribute. But nah, you don't get in the way of that, bro. People trying to
Yeah,
go after what was it? 80, what was it, 81 Kobe did?
yeah. I don't think anybody else on the team scored more than maybe like 15 points.
Yeah. So, do you ever think the 100 is ever gonna get broken?
No, I don't think so. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Part of me thinks that maybe it is possible, right? But let me tell you this let me tell you this though. Part of me was, while I appreciated him, why I appreciated how he scored the 71 points, right? Like, I'm talking about the efficiency of him. I think he probably took like maybe 30 something shots, right? A lot of his was threes, but a lot of his threes were deep threes. He had some ones, but let me tell you what I think was the what I was also thoroughly disgusted with it as well, bro. And I'm thoroughly disgusted because it's hard for me to watch the NBA these days. And I'm hoping that when the playoffs come around that it's different. But usually I watch the players that I want to see. And Dame, in a lot of those West Coast games, they're hard to keep up with because out here they're on at like 12 o'clock. They don't go off until 1 o'clock in the morning out here, though, right? But I think that one of the things that I'm just blown away by, right? And maybe this is just, it reminded me of the Kobe score in the 81, because when Kobe scored the 81, no one on the Raptors team fouled out trying to guard him. Right. Well, none of the guards that were guarding him had more than 3 fouls, right? So it was like nobody wasn't on him. Nobody was checking him to say, nah, you ain't dropping that on us. And so I got to be honest with you, man, thoroughly. I appreciate the offensive, feet and everything like that. But at the same time, though, bro, I was like, all right, you know what? It explained to me why there are so many 40-point games, right? So many 50-point games. Like every week, somebody's dropping 40. Every week, somebody's dropping, seems like everybody's dropping 50. And when I'm watching it, though, bro, I'm just like, man, listen, you shoot. Yeah, if you're a great scorer, 71 points should be something that's a very easily feat now. I think 70 is like the new 60. And 50s are the new 40s, and 40s are like the new 30s, though, man. So, but I watched some of it, and when you watch just all of just Dame's shots, bro, and you just sit there and you look at and see how he did it and the defense on him, like they didn't start playing aggressive defense on him until he scored 60 already, and by then he was already well on his way, though. Thoroughly disappointed, but very impressed with his efficiency of dropping that many points, though, bro.
Man, I think when you're playing in a game like that, you kind of want to see how far he can go. Like, you ain't even thinking about fouling at that point. Like,
no, bro. Listen, you can't even score. Listen, you can't score 20. You can't score 30 points on me without me using all 5 of my fouls.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I'm gonna foul out, bro.
I'm talking about these NBA players, bro. They have that fraternity to where it's like, nah, bro, I got to see what he gonna do.
I hate it. And listen, let me tell you the thing I hate. What I hate the most is I can understand if you got another guy on your team who's also dropping bombs, right? It's just they didn't have nobody else. And I get that. It's Houston. They got a very young squad. You know, a lot of their key players wasn't out there. Like Jalen Green was not that it would have made a difference. But I mean, it's hard for me to watch the NBA in general just because of how little defense is played. So when I watch him score 70 points, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a microcosm of exactly what I love and what I hate. I can't even appreciate the offense because the defense is just so bad, bro. So that was where I was at with it, though, man.
Yeah, but staying in the NBA, bro. So LeBron goes down, and he said he hears a pop, and in his foot. So it sounds like he's gonna be out for a stretch. What the Lakers doing, bro?
They done. It's over. It's done. Because you think about it, man. When now you're relying on AD, and everybody knows AD. Everybody say, "Oh, he's a top 10 talent in the NBA." That's all cool, right? But I think that now you're reliant on AD to be the AD from New Orleans. Let's talk about the AD from New Orleans, right? You had Drew Holiday out there, and at that point, you was barely making it into the first round of the playoffs, and you was getting whipped then, right? Then you had DeMarcus Cousins. Y'all look pretty straight though, but I don't see DeMarcus Cousins on the Lakers. I don't see a DeMarcus Cousins. I don't see a Drew Holiday on there. I don't see none of the supporting cast that I think you would need to have AD successful. So from that regards, if you're telling me that I have to rely on a guy that's missed a lot of games and somebody who's so fragile, right? That boy is fragile out there. I don't know. It's only that LeBron. If LeBron's out for the next 2 weeks, the Lakers are done. I don't think that the Lakers will win 10 games without LeBron, bro.
Well, right now they look like they won the Russ sweepstakes because they are 2-0 without Russ. So I mean they got a supporting cast now, so they should be able to do it, right?
Well, get this though. This is the thing, right? Even before the Russ trade, right? So even before the Russ trade, the Lakers, one thing that was funny is that the Lakers with LeBron James was a top 3 team in the NBA when LeBron plays, right? And that's in terms of player efficiency, the effectiveness of everybody's PER goes up when you're playing with LeBron, right? But then it's like when you're not playing with LeBron, the Lakers were like a bottom 3 team, the exact opposite. So listen, and a lot of those games were played without AD. I don't, if you're telling me that I need to put my trust in AD in order for the Lakers to make the playoffs, I'm not. I don't have very much confidence in AD. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if AD get hurt again sometime this season. He's not going to play in a. Do you honestly think that AD is going to play every single one of the next 20 games the Lakers have?
No, not in my book. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah,
but
so
we mentioned Russ. Despite the fact that they are now 0-2 with Russ, Russ looks good with them, bro.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does. I've watched both games. Why you say that?
I think that he's the same. Right? I don't think that. I listen.
Don't. Because here's one of the bigger differences with right. His decision making has been better. When he's kicking it out, he's got some actual shooters over there. He's been helping out on defense. Okay. What I'm saying is this, right? If you start saying, well, why did the Clippers lose? One of the reasons isn't fixing to be Russell Westbrook. Whereas a lot of times when you watch the Lakers, most people would put it on a contributing factor of being Westbrook. This one, I don't think that's the case. And that's what I mean by he's better. You don't hear, like, the biggest story that has come out of the Clippers camp has been, oh, they didn't play Russ in the fourth quarter. And Ty Lue owned up to that.
Why do you think he didn't play Russ in the fourth quarter?
That I still to this point don't know why he didn't. Especially when you watch the game and see how he contributed to them coming back to even be close in the game. You would have thought you would have kept your firepower in, and he went in a different direction. So that I don't understand. And then you can't even base it upon the first game because they lost in overtime, and that didn't have nothing to do with Russ. Like, you know, PG couldn't make nothing, Kawhi couldn't make nothing. So
they had 176 points the first game. 175. They gave up the record.
Right, double overtime. But what I'm saying is, when you go back to watch even the highlights of that game, that isn't like Russ is the reason why we lost by 1 point. You know what I'm saying?
So this is why I say that it was very much the same, right? So I am curious because they play tonight, and this is a late game tonight. Again, this is another one of those reasons why, like all the West Coast games, they're like 10. They play at like 10:30 tonight. But listen, the first game, right, when it was 170 something to 176, right, they lost. Russ, you look at it, and Russ looked like he played pretty good. He had 17 points. He had 14 assists, right? Pretty solid.
This is debut, though.
This is debut.
Right.
He has 7 turnovers.
He did.
Right. So he's always going to be 2 for 1. For every 2 assists, it's going to be a turnover. Right. So then in the game before, he didn't play in that game where he didn't play in that fourth quarter. He had 4 assists. He had 2 turnovers. Right. Again, 2 for 1. I just think that to me, I'm not gonna say that Russ. It's better.
But here's this is why I say it's different. Because see, you're just only going off of stats, and you and I both know, you being a baller, know that there's a different time of turnover, right? Like if you're turning it over in the fourth quarter when the game is on the line, that's a different type of turnover versus you in the second quarter and you get a turnover, right? So my thing is that there hasn't been, I have not heard anybody, not even the haters, right, come on there and say something about, oh, Russ looks the same. I haven't heard anybody say that.
Listen, I'm not saying, listen, I guess my thing is this. I was one who never believed that Russ was solely the reason why the Lakers would lose a game, right? I wasn't. At the same time, I think that he didn't necessarily, his efforts, I don't think always resulted in the dubs, right? At the same time, I think that it was moot. Moot to me, it was a lot of moot points, moot effort, everything. It was great, right? It didn't. I don't think that it would contribute to a loss just as much as it would contribute to a win, right? But I only say that to say this. I believe, bro, that if you just saw him give you 4 assists and you say you got 7 turnovers, it's what? 7 turnovers, bro. That's a lot. And I think at some point, if you say,
mixing games, bro.
No. I'm gonna tell you how they go together. So then, if you just saw him do that, 7 turnovers for those 14 assists, I honestly believe that Ty Lue said, "No, I'm not gonna play Russ." This is me reading between the lines. He don't even have to say it.
Hold on.
Let me just say it, and then you can tell me what you think. I think that he felt like at that point their best opportunity to win is to not have Russ be in the game, because that way you eliminate the possibility of those high turnovers. That's what I think. He might not say it,
but you just said, and that's the game that he sat him. He only had 2 turnovers. So what is everybody else's turnovers in that game?
Right. He had he had, well, PG had 3 turnovers because PG played more minutes. Yeah, he had more than Russ. He played 36 points. 36 minutes as well. He had the same amount of assists. Don't get me wrong, but I think that when I'm looking at that, Russ had I'm looking at the sheets here. Russ base. It is offensively a very efficient game, right? See, yeah, he was 6 for 10. He had 17 points. He had 1 for 2 for 3. He was 4 for 4 on his free throws. He had he came in and he had 5 rebounds, 5 steals, right? Which I think is great. 4 assists. I just think that, to me,
and 2 turnovers.
But
what I'm saying is this, right? I know what you're saying. You're looking at the stats. I watched the game. So what I'm saying is I watched them come back. And that was partly because of what Russ was doing. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that he had in the fourth quarter were also contributors. But all I'm saying is, if he only had 2 turnovers and he would help y'all get back in the game, then why is he sitting in the entire fourth quarter?
Well, I guess for me, I'm looking at that though. And one of the things that I like, right, is when they talk about PER, right, like your player efficiency. When you're on the court, right, given the amount of minutes, what's the team playing like when they're out there? And while I understand that there were people who had worse, all of the Clippers starters had negative PERs. No, they were just getting beat, right? They were just flat out getting beat. Right. They were just getting beat flat out. They have the only players to me that based off, I'm looking at this, the only players that they had that were in the positive PERs were their bench players, right? You had Nicholas Batum, you had Gordon, you had the boy Bones Holland. Like, I get it. So my thing is, to me, I would just, I think that would factor into it. My starters ain't playing well. My backup guys are, and I don't know if Russ started or not. But I'm just saying that if so yeah. So if you're saying my backup guy is on, like Nick Batum is out there and he is playing power forward, or you got Bones out there, you got Norman Powell out there, they getting it. I'm not mad that they didn't play Russ because they were playing a guy who was more effective in the game to me. Now, but again, Russ's 2 turnovers, nah, they wasn't. I don't think they were contributors to the loss. Everybody played equally bad. The starters did. But I guess what I'm just saying is that I'm also not mad that if you just say, well, if I want to come back, I feel like they without saying it, felt like it was their better option was to not have Russ in there. He might not want to say it, and I'm not saying that that's the right thing. I'm just saying that I think that he felt that at that moment.
I guarantee you he'll be in there this fourth quarter, whether they win or losing.
I'd love to see it. But I'm just saying, though, for Russ to be out there, he played the fewest amount of minutes for their starters, though, bro. And for him to have the fewest amount of minutes, he had a very high plus minus, though, man. And it just it's not that it's solely on him because all of them had very bad. I mean, Paul George was negative 18. That means when he was out there, they was down by 18 points almost all the time he was out there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting whooped. Your boy, the Morris twin, negative 17. Kawhi Leonard, the most minutes I've seen him play, he played 39 minutes. They was negative 10, but they was all getting whooped. Everybody, all their starters getting whooped.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When they was on the comeback, Russ was out there. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
but either way, so KD should be making his debut soon, right?
Yeah, I think that they say KD should be playing tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, everybody thought he was gonna play Sunday, but
yeah, what you expecting from KD? You thinking rust?
I don't think so because I mean, you look at his workouts. He has pretty intense workouts before he comes back, so he doesn't really miss a step. I just want to see what the spacing looks like. I just want to see how much basketball is going around. That's all I want to see. And I know he doesn't need it like that, but I'm just saying, I finally watched Booker this year, and I see how easy he scores. So I'm interested in seeing what them two look like.
I think that he's going to go out there and give you 26 points on 14 shots and give you about 8 rebounds, maybe 5 assists. 26, 8, and 4 is what I think he's going to give, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. The Thunder have lost 3 straight. Shea has been hurt. Don't know if he's playing tonight. So it's just all bad for us right now.
Yeah. I meant to ask you something. Let's switch sports real quick.
Yeah. Let's go.
I wanted to ask you. Your team has a number 1 pick, right? The Bears.
I think I heard that.
Okay, so so your team has a number 1 pick, right? And you have these 3 quarterbacks out there. You got Bryce Young. You got what is this guy? The other dude. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of his name at the time. At the moment, but you also have people assume that Bryce Young is gonna be like that dude. Let me see some top 3 QBs. Let me see some QBs. I keep. Why is this dude? Oh my gosh. I'm just drawing a complete blank. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't believe I'm drawing a complete bright CJ Stroud. That's CJ Stroud. Okay, so here's what's funny. So the one of the big topics on ESPN, right, is that they were basically saying somebody suggested, hey, even though you got Justin Fields, that they were saying, hey, they would if they were the general manager, they would entertain trading Justin Fields for draft picks and then still going ahead and picking up Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama, right? This is your account. I wanted to know, what do you think about the idea of y'all trading Justin Fields to get Bryce Young?
Okay. So personally, I wouldn't do it. Only thing is, there was a recent interview that came out with Justin Fields, and he basically said he don't like playing in the cold, and he's in Chicago. Uh, so my thing is that I don't know that you've already started trying to build the offense around him. I don't see why you don't keep going in that direction. We need other things. We need some linemen that can help protect Justin Fields. I don't care what quarterback you put back there. We need linemen. We need receivers. So I just think that I would keep the investment of Justin Fields and get other things. Like maybe you can trade the number one pick for some other picks to be able to get some other, acquisitions for some other teams. I think I would go that direction versus getting Bryce.
I think that to me, if you don't address the line, because when I've watched Justin Fields play in the few Bears games I have, he takes off a lot because
He has to.
he has to. And I just think that if you get Bryce Young, a smaller guy back
Yep.
there,
Shorter
you're gonna
too.
have
Yep.
the same issue. Yeah, you're gonna have the
100%.
exact same issue. So it's like at some point you gotta address the holes, right? And I don't know, man. I think that people's concern is that you pass up on Bryce Young and now you got to watch him for the next 10, 15 years light it up if that's the case, though, right?
Right. But you also got to understand it doesn't matter whether you put Bryce back there or not. If you do, it doesn't matter. So he can go to another team and do something. Shoot, we can trade Justin away and he'll go and do something different because they got a line wherever he goes. So I'm not concerned about what everybody else is thinking. You got to address your team. And so forget what the perception is and all of that. Like you got to worry about what your team looks like, and you got to work on trying to make sure that we can make it to the playoffs or whatever the case may be. So no, I'm sticking with Justin just because he's already shown sparks of being an incredible quarterback. And if we can keep him healthy, I think that we can build around him. He's young enough, and he's durable. He just had some dings and stuff, but all of those are going to happen unless we can address the line situation and get some receivers.
Fact. And not to mention the guy who says this for ESPN, the analyst, he used to be a general manager and had been fired 3 different times, though, bro. So I'm like, we might need to check your reference. Yeah,
right. You ain't even got the say so.
Yeah. And let's switch to some entertainment stuff, because there's a couple things that we talked about on the last pod, bro, that I think is interesting. So when we were last talking, man, the boy Boosie and T.I. were supposed to come out with an album.
Mm-hmm.
Then Boosie gets on Vlad TV without telling T.I. and said, man, the album ain't coming out, because T.I. apparently came out there and said that, he had told on his cousin, his big cousin. They basically had this pact that basically said, hey, if you ever get jammed up and I'm dead, you can go ahead and put these charges on me if that means you get on out, right? So T.I. says that, and Boosie was like, man, you're a rat, bro. And I've said where I stand about rats, and I gotta basically go ahead and it can't nothing. And they said, the boy Vlad said, so there's nothing at all T.I. can say to make you go ahead and have this album come out. He said, nah, man, he can't. He said he a gangster, right? Especially given that he took his charges, he did his time, he thought that he was innocent. It took him a long time, but whatever. So T.I. basically has a party, kind of a paperwork party, where he says, hey, bro, you can come see my paperwork, right? And and Boosie don't show up, but your boy Charleston White shows up there, right? Say, I got my mace out here with me, though, bro. My question for you is this, though, man. Is T.I. doing too much about this? He's T.I. after all, though. Do you have to go through this much? Is the album that fire?
My thing is that you and I as artists understand how hard it is to come up with content with how busy we are, right?
Facts.
So if you get to a point to where something is about to release and then it gets pulled, I can understand where you would have a little angst in that, to where you want the project to come out because of the work you put in. The problem is if the other artist doesn't want to then promote the album, perform the album, or do anything in association with the album, then what are you doing? But at the same time is money. And so you have wasted my time and you have wasted my money It's a lot. So you know, Ti is Ti, but at the same time, like we have that internal clock of relevancy to be able to put out new material to rival what's going on. So you sit on this music, it's gonna become irrelevant soon. It's a lot. It's a lot in it. To answer your question, is he doing too much? I think if all of your songs are considered your babies, then you trying to protect your kids, bro. So I don't think he's doing too much.
I
If
don't
there's a
think
misunderstanding about what was said, as far as like you believe that I'm a rat because of this, and I have the paperwork showing otherwise, then it's worth the conversation. If you choose not to have that conversation, again, that's then what can you do? If I'm Ti, if I believe that hard in the music, then I'm taking Boosie off, and it's gonna become a Ti and Friends album.
I can so that's where I was gonna go because my thought is this. I would totally understand if Ti says, "Yo, I don't take it too kindly that people are basically staying in my name like that." So if you were basically saying, "Hey, I'm not," let's say if you just put it out there, post your paperwork, right? If it's that important for you that Boosie see it, right, in front of everybody. Like I think you just put it on out there, like this is what I said, this is what I did. If it's that important to you, but it just feels like, bro, like part of that is also that like if it's that serious, is there some guilt behind that though, bro? Like why do you feel like it's that important for him to see it? Now, do you have that kind of respect for him like that? Like to me, it would be important for me to that you what you think, right? It matters to me what my boy Courtney thinks about me. It matters to me what PBR thinks. It matters to me what Rocky thinks, right? It matters to me people that are in my close circle that I think that are that I confide in. Like it matters to me what if Boosie is one of those people to Ti, then I understand it, right? But if we're just business associates and we're trying to get this bread, it's not even that. I think that he's doing way too much, depending on the dynamics of their relationship. That's where I'm looking. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's a lot, bro. I mean, like I said, maybe just do a Ti and Friends album or something. You can get people to jump on and still put that thing out there on the ones that you contributed the most to and or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do if you don't go out, do you sue? Like do you put legalities in it at that point though, bro?
No, because then that's a whole nother thing, street
Yeah.
code wise. That's it's a loss, bro. You just take it. But
Take the
like I said,
loss.
I don't think that's gonna. Like I said, I think Ti is smart enough. He got people he could reach out to that would jump on the project and probably make it better than what it would be anyway.
I think that Ti has so much music that if he really wanted to, he can put another project out by the end of the week if he really wanted to, right? Let me ask you this: one of the things that we didn't get a chance to talk about the last time. This is a two-part topic here, right? So, I think one of the things that was interesting is that Chris Brown, right? Oh, I got so much stuff to talk about when it comes to Chris Brown because, okay, so we talked about Chris Brown, and one of the things that came out was, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna set it up for this. So Chris Brown basically hinted that people are still holding the Rihanna, him putting them hands on Rihanna back then, holding that over him still. So they're in some kind of way not canceling him. We were talking about it, pausing him, right? Like some people do. And maybe that's the reason why he's not. The reason why he's not winning the Grammys, getting the accolades that comes with what he believes is the quality of his music. But he basically says, meanwhile, right? Meanwhile, you got Blueface and you got Krishan. And this boy's always putting his hands on every other month. You hear something about these boys getting physical and everything like that. And people generally seem like they let it rock, like they accept that that's just normal for them, though, bro. And Blueface just comes out and says, bro, you kind of coming across like, you real. I ain't the only one, kind of, bro. But I guess what I'm wondering is that my question for you is this, though, bro. Is there a point where if people still listen to, and I know that there are still a lot of Chris Brown music supporters, and even outside of that, there had to be a lot of people who paid the $1,000 to do the meet and greet with Chris Brown. But I guess what I'm wondering is that is there anything at all that you think Chris Brown could do to get that off of his? Because people have done far worse and have moved on and have bounced back amongst public opinion. So is there anything that Chris Brown can do to get past that?
No. The thing is that no. Here's the thing. The opinion of public opinion is what it is. You're gonna like the thing is this. You're gonna have people that rock with you. You're gonna have people that don't, right? The only way he can, I'm telling you, the only way that he can get over all of this stuff is win. Meaning that he gonna have to come out with some fire music. And that's where I think the problem lies. And here's the thing. I'm not saying Chris Brown is an incredible artist. I'm not saying that Chris Brown don't have dope songs, but he don't have them no more, right? Because even the song that was in question, he did the song with Chloe, right? And it was okay.
It's okay, song. Yeah, it was a pretty okay. Listen, I love the beat. I love the beat that they picked, though, man. And
right, but isn't
it a Hitmaker song?
Like, huh?
Isn't it a Hitmaker beat? I thought I heard Hitmaker on that.
It might be, but I'm just saying the song, though, it wasn't memorable. Like what I'm saying is this, right? Aside of content aside, right? When we heard WAP for the first time, we knew it was out of here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's other songs that we've heard when it's like we hear it for the first time. It's like, yo, I got it. We heard what was it? God Is or whatever.
Yeah. God
right?
did.
Yeah, it's out of here. Like,
yep.
So what I'm saying is I heard that song and couldn't tell you a word in the song. I know what the title and stuff is, but I'm saying it was just okay. Like it's not finna be the spring anthem or the fall anthem or whatever. It's like it was cool. Yeah. And I know how difficult it is to make music, and music is subjective. I'm sure there's some other people that really, really dig the song, but I'm just saying from general consensus, I ain't hear nobody like, yo, you heard that the new Chris Brown and Chloe, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you think?
Yeah. Listen, I thought the song is dope. Don't get me wrong. I think that the song I think that the song in itself is dope, but it isn't like it ain't one of them, right? It ain't out the park though, bro. But I do like the song. It to me, put like this. I think that's a Chloe song, right? That I think that's on her album, not a Chris Brown. But I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro. I think that if it was on Chris Brown's album, I thought that it would have filled his album up even better. And the reason why I say that is because I think that it's I like that. I like that it's not the typical Chris Brown content. It's more along the lines of a love song, though, man. And so, from that regards, I enjoy the song. I like it a lot, though, man. I mean, I like the sample, the Just Blaze. It was one of the songs I remember you and I used to go back and forth because that was the song that I loved on the Usher, and I don't think you cared for it too much, though. That beat or that song, anyway.
Like I said, I don't even remember it, bro. Like I heard the song, but it's
pretty dope. Now I think I finally got the solution. Right?
What's that?
For Chris Brown. I got the solution. Okay. Here's what Chris Brown needs to do, bro. So Friday we didn't have the pod, right? We didn't have the pod because being the missus, go and check out Eric Bellinger, right? Mm-hmm. Let me take a step back because let me tell you about the show, right? So he had a couple of opening acts, some I don't know if they're just local dudes, but they were really young guys, and their music seems like it may ride well if you were just listening to the music, not the performance necessarily. One of the guys was really good though, but he had Trevor Jackson as the primary opening act for him. And listen, man, thoroughly impressed because I've never listened to a Trevor Jackson song, but there was a couple of girls that were in front of us, young girls, right? Where they seemed to be there for him. Like Eric Bellinger was almost like the side act, or Eric Bellinger may as well have been the opening act for them because it was all about him, though, man. I didn't know that he could sing like that. Very impressed with how talented this dude was because I only know him as the actor. I'm not very familiar with his music catalog, anything like that.
Well,
bro,
let me pause you right there, brother.
Yes.
Because only reason I knew about him is because of the R&B Money podcast by Tank.
Okay, listen, I didn't check out the podcast, apparently. I didn't check out the podcast. But listen, I was so from that, it was my first time hearing his music. It being introduced to it. Now, mind you, I don't think that the missus was familiar with his music either. I don't think so, because she didn't know any other words, right? But let me tell you what's crazy, bro. I see this dude go out here, man, and he sings Usher, right? And he sang You Got It Bad, sounded fantastic. But what impressed me the most, gets on the guitar solo of You Got It Bad, he drops the mic, runs over, plays the guitar, playing the whole guitar solo, and it sounds exactly like the album. I mean, flawless, bro. I keep bumping all into the mic. But listen, it was incredible. And then on another his big song, apparently, and then mind you, these girls know every single word to every single song that he gets on up there, and they singing their heart out, right? So this dude basically says, "Oh, since y'all can't come down here, I'm just gonna come up there." So he gets his security guy. He comes through the crowd. He's singing and stuff, though, man. It comes out and serenade these two girls. Oh, bro, seemed like it just made their entire. That was it. You couldn't tell them nothing after that. He goes back down and has a dance break for his song, bro. Listen, this dude goes through and does a Cisco hand plant wheel kick, pops out of that into a front flip to the side, hits the ground. Hits around, comes back up, does a gainer, runs forward, hits the front flip, pops on his back, pops back up like the Rock, though, bro. I was like, yo, blown away because this dude's like my height, though, bro. And I'm thoroughly impressed with the athleticism. I said, well, goddamn, bro, he seems like he's just pretty good at everything. So then Eric Bellinger comes on, and I was thinking, like, well, goddamn, just on showmanship alone, got to top that. That was pretty damn good. And so Eric Bellinger comes on now, and the missus is just this her boy, though, right? This is her dude. Comes out there, presentation, everything is fantastic, right? Has complete. I mean, you can tell that it was mainly. It was for the ladies, right? All the ladies said no dudes are standing up, right? It's just if you were on a date, you give them their time to fan out over them and everything like that. And I can tell that Neek is just, this is her boy. This was it, though. She was thoroughly entertained. So I just want to, she was just like, he gotta play, he gotta sing my joints. He gotta sing my joint. And I think that he did, though, bro. But what was crazy about it is that my only disappointment with it is that the show just ended abruptly. It was almost like somebody said, hey, man, tell him to go ahead and go. We about to pull the plug. That's it. Yep. We thinking he's about to perform another song. We think he was going to warm us up to, hey, I got to get on out of here when I'm going to hit y'all with this one more song. He just goes ahead and get out there, performs the jump, says, all right, Atlanta, why holla? And that was basically it, though, bro. So I was disappointed. We looking around like, I just see about to come back out there and say, psych, I lied. Boom, hit you with something else. But what I love, though, bro, is that I became an even bigger fan because I was a fan of his songwriting, right? But I was a bigger fan of him as an artist. But when I listened to him, I said, Eric Bellinger is what Chris Brown is missing. I think that the problem with Chris Brown, this is what I would do. If I'm Chris Brown, I work with 3 songwriters and 3 producers for my entire album. And I get Eric Bellinger to say, I need at least 8 songs to pick from. And of those 8, I'm going to keep at least 6, right? And then I also get Sean Garrett. I get Sean Garrett to help me with my singles because that's what Sean Garrett does, right? I believe some of Chris Brown's biggest singles have been penned by Sean Garrett. I get Sean Garrett because Sean Gary can write you dope singles that are love songs. Eric Bellinger can write you the songs that are your sexual content songs, but I think that he does them in a very tasteful way. I think that you get Hitmaker, right, to get you some of your singles. I think that you also go ahead and get Brian Michael Cox as your other third producer and songwriter on your song, and you dedicate it. And I think that is the album that Chris Brown needs, though, bro. If Chris Brown comes, listen, when the whole time I'm listening to Eric Bellinger, you and I have always talked about that. That we couldn't quite figure out what it is about Eric Bellinger's songs, right? That just makes you think that maybe if somebody else, a bigger artist, did these songs, that the song would be that much bigger. I just think that if Chris Brown had those Eric Bellinger penned songs, I think it'd be out of here, bro. That's what I think Chris Brown is missing, bro. He's missing Eric Bellinger's pen, bro. That's what I think.
I mean, I respect it. I don't know at this point. I just think it's just interesting because a lot of Chris Brown songs sound the same. Like
a lot of Eric Bellinger's. This is the thing I think. This is the thing I thought about with Eric Bellinger, right? I think the thing that I was thoroughly impressed with is that Eric Bellinger's songs got a bop to them. They're not. He can do his slow songs, but I think that his better songs are those mid-tempo songs, the 85 BPM to 95 BPM. And I think that those would be great dance songs for Chris Brown to do dope dance routines too. It's like everything about the two of them putting together one presentation would be phenomenal to me, though, bro. And I think that that to me is what I think Chris Brown is missing. Chris Brown is just missing the next great song. He's doing a lot of good music, but he's missing that great song that I think that will make people forget all about everything else, though, bro.
That's what I said. Winning cures everything. We know that.
Winning does cure everything, but I think that he's winning. I just don't think that he is. He's not in the song of the year conversation to me. None of what he's doing. It is cool, but he's not anywhere in song of the year conversation, though, bro. So when he doesn't make album of the year, then I can also understand, though, bro, why somebody would like, you don't got that one signature song. You got a few cool songs, though, bro.
Yeah.
But when I was at the Eric Bellinger concert, I just thought that this is what Chris Brown is missing. Now for Eric Bellinger, I don't know what he can do to become even bigger, because he can sing, bro. He can sing.
But here's the thing. So again, listening to the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine, Eric Bellinger was on there. He is happy. He's like, no, I'm not trying to go like that. He said, I love the fan base that I have of people. Like when I drop music, they got it. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, yeah, it would be cool to do something. He said, but I'm not chasing that anymore. I'm at a position to where I'm rich, I'm comfortable, and he said, I don't have any other side hustle to where I'm not an actor. I don't do this. I don't do that. So music is it. And he said, and that's what takes care of everything. And I'm happy with where I'm at musically.
I would love to. I gotta go and watch that particular pod, bro, because I'm more interested in Eric Bellinger now after seeing him perform, because I'm talking about, bro, like I was thoroughly impressed with his singing, though, bro, because you hear a lot of, listen, didn't have the background tracks on the main songs, right? So he had that going. But I think that the thing that I was just more so blown away by, though, man, is just how much like the albums and the songs that he actually does sound, though, bro. Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
More on music, though, bro. Did you see that The Weeknd is the first artist on Spotify? While I don't think that he's the most streamed artist all time, but The Weeknd is the first to hit 100 million listeners on Spotify, though, bro.
It's pretty dope. Now he did just recently, what was it? It was HBO Max. He had a concert on there.
HBO Max. It's so far.
Yeah. And and plus he just recently did the Super Bowl. Not the last one, but I'm saying, those things generally give you that boost, but then to turn around and have a concert drop on a very popular platform that has The Last of Us, Game of Thrones, and stuff like that. So I think that stuff always helps boost you up, because there's still some people who don't, first of all, don't even know who he is, might have heard one of his songs and didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
So all of those things help.
You know what's crazy to me, bro? When I saw that, I was kind of surprised, right? Because it's almost like when I see stuff about Avatar, when they say, "Oh, Avatar hit $5 billion," and I'm like, I don't know nobody who's actually went to see Avatar, right? You did go see it? Okay, so
Saw it in
you know,
3D.
okay, so you're the only one I know that's actually seen it. So when it comes to The Weeknd, I was just like, I just never thought. I don't know. I'm not as blown away by.
You know what? The Weeknd reminds me of the R&B flow rider, like somebody who I don't necessarily hear all the time, but I know that his brand, like, he is just out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's because he always has a song on like a big. He has these big records, right? Like the Avatar soundtrack, the song played in the movie, and it's out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Is he literally on? Is he on Avatar?
No. He's not on Avatar, but the
The
song
song. I mean, the
is
song
in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't even know. I was just bringing it up, but it's funny you said it, because I guess it's like. I don't know, man.
Bro, you gotta
he's
think
just
about it,
not
right?
somebody I listen to regularly, though, man.
Right. But this is what I mean by he is the R&B flow rider, right? Another big movie that his song was in, the one that pushed him out of here, was 50 Shades of Grey.
And listen, I didn't think that movie was that great. I love the song, though.
It doesn't matter though. You didn't read the books like the soccer moms did, right? So that movie was out of here. And
look, I get it. I mean, I know that. Listen, I understand I understand that he's wildly popular, bro. I just, for some reason, he's not somebody who I listen. Like when I say, "Oh, I'm about to put on some R&B," he doesn't even come to mind as far as 5 R&B artists that I would listen to.
you're right, but he does have those hits. Like what I'm saying is, he does have those pop hits, like the ones that we might not be listening to, but they that popular. So
I can't think about this. I can't name. I just thought about that. I can't name 5 Weeknd songs, and for that matter, I listen. I can't name about this. I don't know anybody else personally that could name 5 songs by The Weeknd.
Like I said,
give me 5. You're an R&B singer.
Doesn't matter. He's not one of the people that I listen to like
5.
That.
Right. Give me 5. You're a casual fan.
Right, I am. But what I'm saying is, I'm a casual fan that understands who he is, though. What I'm saying is, The Weeknd is a bigger artist than Chris Brown.
That's debatable.
It's not debatable.
I think
fact.
you're right. Yeah, I think you're.
Listen, we're not talking about. We're not. Listen, Chris Brown is a bigger cultural artist.
Let me hold on. Wait. Hey, Nick. Yeah. Let me ask you your opinion. Yeah. Is Chris Brown? No, is The Weeknd a bigger artist than Chris Brown? She said it's hard, so I'm gonna be in.
I would say no. Chris Brown is bigger.
She said Chris Brown
is culturally.
You think he's bigger culturally in our culture, Black culture, but do you think The Weeknd
The Weeknd is all around.
Okay, so
100%. See, The Weeknd could open for Taylor Swift and it wouldn't miss a beat in the show.
That's true. That part is, I can see that. That's a good way to put that.
So that's what I mean. That's what I mean by a bigger artist. That we know Chris. If you asked almost any Black person, they're gonna say Chris Brown is the bigger artist because culturally he is. But when you're talking on the scale of what I'm talking about, like how you talk about how Snoop is more recognizable than some of the, Snoop is a bigger artist than the Migos. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, let me just ask you the whole side. Did you see are you gonna get you some of the Snoop Dogg sketches?
I am not.
Listen, okay, one more comparison is Bruno Mars. Who do you go? Bruno Mars or The Weeknd in terms of bigger artists? Still The Weeknd then?
Yes, but not by much, right? Like
So if it's not by
that's
much,
one-
then is Bruno
that's
Mars
1A,
bigger
1B.
than Chris Brown? And so it's
Bruno Mars is bigger than Chris Brown.
oh, okay, Meek. Is Bruno Mars bigger than Chris Brown? No. Okay, she said no.
Okay, this is why I say that. Because Bruno Mars on his own is one of those cultural artists, right?
I think listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think Bruno Mars is.
Hold on, not cultural. Bruno Mars by himself is in that international market, right?
Yeah.
Then Silk Sonic brings him back cultural.
Yes, yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the reason why I say that is because I think that Bruno Mars have more of like I think Chris Brown's have hits, but I just think that Bruno Mars hits are bigger hits to me.
They're classics and hits at the same time.
Yeah.
This is how you know. This is how you know Bruno Mars is out of here. This is the easiest way to make it happen. How many Super Bowls has he done within a short time span?
Didn't he just do one?
No, he did two of them back to back.
Damn, Chris Brown ain't getting invited to do no Super Bowl, bro.
Right. And The Weeknd only did it once, but Bruno did it twice.
Listen,
Back
you
to
know
back.
the reason why I'm gonna tell you this. I like that. I like that Bruno Mars has 3 songs that you could walk down the aisle to at a wedding.
I mean,
Like
but go to the reception and you're gonna hear more.
I get that though, right? But I'm saying, right? I'm just saying that you can walk down the aisle to at least 3 Bruno Mars songs, and these 3 songs are hit. Chris Brown ain't got no song that you can walk down the aisle to. Nor does he necessarily not to say that he has to make that kind of music, but I'm just also saying though, man, I just think that to me, it's levels to hits, and I just think that while Chris Brown has some hits, his hits just ain't equal to the Bruno Mars hits.
That's because Bruno and The Weeknd placements are gonna be different than Chris Brown.
Yeah,
you can hear the Chris Brown or The Weeknd on NBA, WWE, soundtracks. And not saying Chris Brown you can't, but you're gonna have more placements with The Weeknd.
The old Chris Brown music used to though. That's what I'm saying though. The old Chris Brown music used to be like I think equal to them.
I understand that Chris Brown has some big records, but I'm saying when I'm talking about the international market though, and I'm not saying Chris Brown can't go overseas. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying more recognizable, right? I still think it's going to be The Weeknd and it's going to be Bruno. That, in my opinion.
I agree, man. I agree, man. I just think that. Oh man. Oh my gosh, bro. I just don't.
Chris Brown ain't getting no HBO concert, bro.
Listen, bro. I'm looking at some of these. Listen, man. I'm looking at these songs that Chris Brown, that Bruno Mars have. And I'm looking at these though, bro, and I just don't. Nah, I don't see 24K Magic, Locked Out of Heaven. And Chris Brown doesn't have. Okay, let me tell you this. Here's the thing about it. Chris Brown doesn't have a Leave the Door Open. Chris Brown doesn't, to me, have Just the Way You Are. Chris Brown doesn't have a When I Was Your Man. And he definitely, it's been a while. He don't have that. He don't have. So he do have, I think he do have a, that's what I like. You could come up with a song that, but he don't have a Uptown Funk.
Mm-mm.
he just don't. The Chris Brown. Oh my gosh, bro. I know that they're different kinds of artists, but I'm just talking about the quality of the songs. It's been a while, bro, since I've been wowed by, like, even with Bruno Mars, though, bro. Like, I'm talking about, listen, you know how wowed I was when I saw the Leave the Door Open, bro. It's like, what? Like, still, like, come on, bro. Like, it's like that's what I meant to tell you. That's what we're not meant to, but that's what I've been before. It's very impressive to me when an artist that you love music comes out with a song that's possibly better than the song that made you a fan of theirs in the first place. And I just
100%.
think that Bruno Mars does that, though, bro. And I just don't think that Chris Brown. Maybe Chris Brown set the bar so high for him with his early on music, though, bro, that it was just hard for him to top it. But golly, though, man, Bruno Mars still finds a way, though, man.
Yeah. Tank told me how dope Bruno was too.
Yeah, what Tank tell you, bro?
Nah, he just said that he met him back in the day. He said he was at a studio. He said he seen this cat out here smoking a cigarette, and he came up to him and said, "Yo, you need to get a song from me." And Tank was like, "Oh, really?" Like, yeah. And it was Bruno.
Jeez, bro. That's what I like. Grenade, like, Talking to the Moon. Like, I'm saying, bro, like, dog, come on, man. Like, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christmas. Hey, man, it's Tuesday. What you got going on for the week, bro?
Bruh, same as last week. Ain't nothing changed, man. Still on the grind. Still trying to make music. That's about it.
You know what, though? I think that for me, I heard, bro, that Missy could be coming out with some new music with Timbaland, bro. So I'm on to watch to see if that actually come out. They said that they're just going to be pushing the button on that. Like, it's ready to go. It's a done deal. So I'm checking for that, though, man. Other than that, though, man, I think that I'm trying to relax a bit this week, though, man. I think that this week I'm trying to get back on kind of ramping up, picking up more of my house search. So I'm going to be doing some of that. I think that this weekend, though, man, we're supposed to get some rain out here, though, man, which probably won't be bad because I've been noticing that we got our pollen starting to bloom out here, and my eyes is already a little itchy today, though, man. So I think I'm going to be chilling, bro.
Okay.
On that note, man, I think that we went through everything, bro. Let's get them on, man. Play that Chris Brown.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it,
of all time.
sucker?